Hello, BB besties! Whether you are single, taken, or in a complicated situation, oops. Beyond Borders greets you a belated Happy Valentine's Day. I'm Annika Jolie King, and I am happily single and happy to be your host for this episode. This month's episode is probably going to showcase the most candid versions of the team, and we are bringing back the love in the air through our BB Besties love stories. With us today are some amazing people from the Beyond Borders team. So why don't you guys say hi to our lovely listeners by stating your name, production position, and relationship status. So why don't we call on Ate Jis first? Go, Ate Jis.
Okay. Thanks, Nika. Hi, everyone. I'm Jess, and I'm the executive producer. And for my relationship status, in a situationship at the moment.
Uy, sana all! That's what I like to hear! Okay, thanks, Ate Jess. Let's hop on to our assistant producer. Go, Jules!
Hello, good evening to each and every one of you. My name is Juliana Marie Mabugat, but you can call me Julie or Jules. My status is single because, I love to become a woman. Yay!
Yes, that's right. Women stand. I love to hear that, Jules. Thank you so much. Now let's hop on to our head admin, Dor.
Hello, everyone. My name is Doriel Jim Dibaano, the head administrator of Beyond Borders podcast. And my status is single, but I am ready to mingle. Wow.
Wow, he's ready, guys. He's available in the market. So paki-click na lang dyan sa ating yellow box and comment mine to claim. Charot. Thank you, Dor. So let's hop on to one of our segment writers and one of our hosts, actually. Go, Jay.
Okay, hello BB Besties, it's me, Jay. I'm currently one of the segment writers at Beyond Borders, and my relationship status is single and hopeless romantic. Yeah.
Oh, she's one of those Swifties. She sings Swiftie songs to, cope with what she's feeling. Oh man, if you guys could see her, she's like falling off her screen actually right now. Igor Raka girl. She be slaying. Okay, thanks, Jess. Now, last but not the least, we have Marco.
Hi, BB Besties. This is Marco. I'm one of your interview writers and occasionally your host. And in terms of relationship status, currently accepting resumes for Uyab. Happy Valentine's, guys.
Oh my gosh. Yes, guys. Kanang, you could just, send our team a DM and we'll send you guys the forms for Marco's Uyab application. So, word count daw ang resume. Jay's asking. 300 words, guys.
Yeah,
thank you so much.
500. Yeah, thank you, guys.
500. Leave it or take it. Okay. So, all right. Now that we're all settled, let's dive right in to our first story. So, this first story actually centers on the idea that some people are just meant to be your friends. Agoy! Sakit ba yung maka-experience og friendzone, no guys? Speaking from experience, Jud. Char! Oh! Okay, yeah. So, this is what one of our listeners sent us. I was fully convinced something was wrong with me because I've never liked someone even in college. That was until I met someone. We met in a school organization. And he was honestly really annoying at first. He genuinely annoyed me until we started to talk more and interact more. He would share things with me he shouldn't share to anyone else. And he'd send me songs to listen to. He would listen to all my rants and he would send me updates about what he was doing even if I didn't ask. Sometime later, I fell. I don't know how, but I did. I started to overthink every single interaction. I kind of felt that. Oh my gosh. I would overanalyze everything. It sounds crazy, but that was the first time I ever liked someone. I eventually confessed, and he never really responded to my confession. I also avoided him at all costs after that. But he still tried to reach out even when I was ignoring him. I think it was the embarrassment of confessing that made avoid him. And I didn't want to ruin our friendship, but I also couldn't talk to him without feeling weird. After that, we eventually talked again, and we never really addressed it. There were still some feelings left, but I came to a conclusion that he just did not feel the same way. Eventually, I started to lose feelings for him, and now it's completely gone. Okay, slay for you, bestie. We still talk, but the excitement and thrill of being around him is completely gone. And that's on period, guys. Short and sakit. So,
So gone.
what do you guys
Short,
think?
sakit.
True.
Short and sakit, right? So,
Exactly.
no? And
It's-
actually, we have a... Oh, yeah. Go, Jay. What do you want to say?
Know what? What you were talking about being short, it just reminded me of those like tweets. You know those tweet alternate universe like AUs like you would read
Oh,
like
yeah.
3 a.m. Yeah,
Mhm.
it's just the right amount of like kick in the heart.
It's a right amount of angst and a right amount of being delusional. I get that.
So true, bestie. Go
Only
on.
that. Isa naman siyang isa namang situation na isa namang tao pinakitaan ng konting kabutihan, nahulog naman sa maling tao.
Oh, right person in the wrong time? Or is it like not the right person at all?
It's like someone showing you kindness and you mistaking it for love.
Dude, Igor ako, oy. Can you not?
Red flag.
Slay. All right. Thank you guys for your, comments. And actually now, we have a bunch of questions to ask the team. So you guys could answer by referring to your experiences, charot, or maybe, just a piece of advice, a piece of wisdom for our dear listeners. So our first question is, what is the difference between reading between the lines and giving meaning to non-existent scenarios? Why don't we call on Kataba? Alternate universe delusional. Let's call Jay to answer this question.
To admit to the delusional part. Okay, maybe a little bit, but I'm gonna try to mix both wisdom and experience of being both. Just kidding. Okay, for me, my anecdote is like the difference of reading between the lines and giving meaning to non-existent scenarios is really how you develop the relationship with this person. If it starts off as a friendship, usually it's sometimes you look into the external. Wow, this is a very systematic thinking process of reading it. Wow, sorry.
It's giving critical thinking.
I know, it's very systematic. You look at your outside environment first, and then you start assessing your own feelings. Because, as OP said, Miss Listener, she was like convinced that she didn't know anything about liking someone before like college, and it's like I think it's also the expectation she puts on herself to like someone in college could have an effect of creating these scenarios. So that's when you start overthinking because of that pressure that you put on. And sometimes at the end of the day, the main difference of reading between the lines and non-existent scenarios is how you communicate with that person. And you can OP definitely never addresses it with Mr. Orgmate or whoever is the orgmate. Oh wait, there are pronouns. Yes, for Mr. Orgmate, Miss OP she clearly communicates her feelings. And if that's not addressed, and if she's able to move on properly, that's a slay. So the main difference is really just on how you clearly communicate. You give meaning to non-existent scenarios because you are expected to create meaning to these scenarios, or maybe it's people around you. And I have to just say, it's just you have to sometimes relax a little bit in life. You gotta take it one at a time. When you look at love, when you fall for people, it's something that builds up from from different feelings. You you could start like Miss Opie, like they were like annoying each other, but then after that she kind of started liking him, and maybe he was just trying to get her attention in the first place, and maybe they did have something, but if you never properly address it, at the end of the day, you can't really tell the difference between the lines or these existent scenarios. So that's pretty much it. In conclusion, a very systematic approach.
Yeah, a very critical thinking. Shirley went with her APA citations, I guess.
Yes, I have a concept map drawn. She wants
I
the
really-
illustration.
She wish she could, let the listeners see it, but this is a podcast, honey. We'll post a PubMat, I guess. But yeah, I really felt what you said there. What you said there, Jay. Like, you have to take it slow, guys. Like, not everything means something. Not everything means something. That's so true. Listen, maybe someone else from the team wants to add to what Jay, said, or
I'd like to add.
Go ahead, Marco.
Yeah, because actually, what do you call this? What do we refer to these people? The letters? Yeah, the letter sender. Yeah, I can low-key relate to the letter sender because you know how sometimes we all know Hercules, right? And there's this one song, "Accidentally in Love." That's basically your theme song right here, letter sender. That's your theme song because sometimes you fall in love at not love, but you get infatuated at the most random places, at a restaurant. No chance. Jay says there's no chance. I wouldn't say it. No. She's writing out the lyrics. But as I was saying, I think, well, in my case, sometimes you get infatuated at the weirdest places. Sometimes it's at the restaurant. Sometimes it can be in school or at the gym or at I don't know, even at your dorm sometimes. And yeah, I really agree with what Jay said. It takes a level of self-awareness and assessment of oneself. And yeah, I think it's a matter of assessing yourself if it's infatuation or are you really want to commit to the person, if you know what I'm saying. So, because the way I see it, infatuation is merely emotion. You know what I'm saying? You as a human being, you're compelled to feel feelings if the simulation arrives. So, I'm sorry, I'm taking this as a really objective approach. But the way I see it, you have to use logic over emotions because whenever you get infatuated, emotions takes over really, and you have to really assess yourself. Do I really like this person, or did they trigger something in me that made me like them?
Yeah, I get what you mean, Marco. They say that love is subjective, but sometimes the way you assess love has to be objective as well. You really have to take it slow. So yeah,
Definitely.
Scientific method. Yeah, you have to do a whole SIP. Joke lang. So yeah, thanks, Jay and Marco. So let's hop on to our second question. So when the feelings aren't mutual, is it best to stop or end any connection with the other? Kinsa ka maka-answer, Annie?
Wait, I'll answer. Oh my god. So
Go door.
yeah. So hi everyone again. So this answer is for the general population, general listeners. So if you're guys wondering if you should stop or end any connection with the other, guys, you're not alone. I've been there as well. So it can be a difficult road to navigate when your feelings are not mutual, diba? And it can even be more difficult to decide what to do about it. Very relate. So if you think that the only way to move forward is to cut off all contact, so then do so. If the only way to move forward is to cut off all contact, then do so. But if there's a chance that that this person could come around and see how amazing you are, then don't give up on them just yet. I've been there as well. So it's important to remember, that as much as you might want someone else to love you, they might not want it all, or they might not know how to get there yet, but they might need more time or space than they have right now before they can accept your feelings. Or maybe they are just not ready for a relationship at all right now. So those are my takeaways or my answer for that question.
You know what, Dor? You know what? You really got me there at cut off. Because you know that saying na if he really wanted to, he would. Like, he had every chance to reciprocate that feeling, right? So, like, he keeps annoying her. Like, he had every chance to, like, you know, probably that's how he reciprocated, by annoying her. But, you know, maybe the girl, maybe our sender was expecting something else. But bitaw, like, if the feeling isn't mutual and it seems like, you know, you feel worthless, just cut it off. Because you need to know your self-worth when it comes to love, guys.
Yes,
sila
I truly
nun,
agree.
diba?
I truly agree.
Tama.
Yeah. Self-love,
Self-worth
Jud.
is key. Yeah.
Yeah. I love that so much, Dor. Self-love, self-worth. That's how we live, guys. This 2023 period. No? So, does anybody else want to add? Or slay na to siya? I feel like slay na to siya, guys. Cut off, period. Sige. So, let's hop on to our third question. When you distance yourself, is it a sign of weakness? Is it out of fear of falling deeper? Or is it out of embarrassment? Who wants to answer this? Come on, besties. Come through. Basin, Jules? You want to answer, Jules?
Oh. This is quite tough. But out of all the choices that went out, you did it yourself, I think it's the 3 out of all. Number 1 is a sign of weakness because you're just so embarrassed about the situation. You want to shy away from reality and from the crowd, and that's why you distance yourself, just like social distancing. And for the second one, if it's your fear out of falling deeper, it's your weakness, and you just don't want to do this single act again, and you don't want to commit this mistake, and that is your fear of falling deeper because you don't want to take the risk because it's really so catboy, and that's why you're distancing yourself because you don't want to do this anymore. You think that you're just so hopeless and helpless. And the last one, yes, it's really about an embarrassment. You want to shy away from everything. It's really embarrassing to do that, so, and you just really need time for the publicity to really fade away. Distancing and discussion are so interconnected with each other. So when you distance, it's just a good and bad thing, just to really heal your sanity and the people around you who were involved in this situation. And I cannot really attest this to myself, but I can really through a relationship, but I think it's really more of a self-explanatory, and it's just really like what you can answer in your own chest. Yes, coming from a different POV. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Joel. Yeah, no, like, you know, the moment when someone says na you distance yourself, they think of it as a bad thing. But honestly, sometimes it's a good thing. Because that means you know your self-worth. That means na, I'm not gonna give this much energy to this guy if he doesn't reciprocate it. Like, what's the point? Diba? Kakapoy magmahal. Char! Kakapoy! Ang sakit magmahal. You know, you have to, you have to think kung kinsa mo na siya dapat ihatag ang kana na energy. You feel, guys? So if you distance yourself, it's totally fine. It could be a sign of weakness. Sure, who cares? Is it out of fear of falling deeper? Sure, but who cares? Is it out of embarrassment? Sure, who cares, right? Padayon lang sa life. There's always another person to fall in love with. Oh, Jay says no, she has a song recommendation for this question. Come through, Jay. What is it?
It's from my idol, my mother, Taylor Swift.
Of course.
Taylor Swift, when you distance yourself, you know, from the Midnight's album, Labyrinth. Yes, the bridge. I'm falling in love.
Falling in love again.
Oh no. I'm falling in love. I'm falling in love.
Falling in
I
love.
thought the plane was going down.
but how did you turn it right around? But out of this collective shared moment, please listen to Stream Midnight. Sky, the Eras tour is near. But besides that song, like, I really like what Juliana said. It's really all of those feelings at the same time. And distancing, I think it really is a form of a really good self-reflection for everyone. And when you start understanding your feelings, so I don't think we should be ashamed about it. But I feel like the shame is like just part of human nature. When you fall in
True.
love, we all just get embarrassed about it. But then when you
Mhm.
start accepting it, it's like grief. You accept it.
Thank you so much for that, Jay. Words of wisdom right there. And a little shameless plug for our Mama T Swift. Very slay. Love that. Okay, now we're down with the last question. So, how can you cope with rejection? You don't. Joke. You don't. You just cry about it in your room. You listen to T Swift and eat a whole pint of ice cream. Very slay. Pero I think there's someone here who could share their bit of experience, their bit of wisdom to this question. So come on forward. You know who you are.
That was such a big call out. Wow. That was such a
No,
huge call out.
that's why we're best friends, bestie.
Hi guys, I'm Marco. Hi, hi bestie. Hi guys, this is Marco, and I can't accept rejection.
Oh
Well,
my God. Felt relate.
you know what? Because as a Capricorn, I can't accept rejection. I don't know if that makes sense, but whatever. But yeah, I'm pretty sure everyone can't accept rejection. And the same goes Mantigoro for our letter sender. But you know what? I commend them for another Capricorn. Yes, I agree. But anyways, I commend them for jumping the boat. Most people, well, such as myself, won't like accept or won't confess their feelings out of fear of being rejected. And you know what? Kudos to you. You're the 1% of the people who have the guts to confess to their crush, because most people can't do that. It takes a lot of willpower. It takes a lot of mental preparation to do that. But how do you cope with how do you cope? How do you cope with rejection? I think the best advice that I can give for that would be to anticipate rejection, because not everything will always go your way. Now, in the case of confessing your feelings to someone, you don't expect them to reciprocate the feelings back at you. You know what I'm saying? So you should accept now there's a chance that this person might not have or won't reciprocate the same feelings back at me. And that's all right. And I think the question to ask here is, if I will be rejected, what will happen? So prior to confessing your feelings to someone, ask yourself, if I confess to this person, will it bring me peace, or will it bring me like a lot of overthinking in the upcoming weeks ahead? You know what I'm saying? And good for you, that letter sending. Apparently, you confess yourself and you put yourself out there really to this person. I guess you felt really vulnerable during that time, I would say. So good for you that you were able to move on from this person. And siguro next time, ask yourself, if I do this again, will I regret it? Will it be a great what if? Or will it be a plot twist on my end? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's always, again, as what I mentioned earlier, we should also be logical with our decisions. We should also ask ourselves, am I being controlled by my feelings? Or am I also using my brain with it when it comes to relationships?
Wow, Marco, that was a really mature answer. Don't you guys think?
Yeah.
From all of you. No,
Applications for Ariab is still open, guys. Thank you.
our resident student nurse, guys. Hit us a DM.
Mature na niyo.
This is maturity. No, expect rejection, BI. Expect rejection. You prepare yourself for it. I love that. That's a different point of view to look from, no? Instead of expecting that they like you back, you prepare yourself for the thunderstorm. Cherries. No, I feel like Ate Jess, do you want to add something?
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
little something.
Just a short thing to add on lang. From one Capricorn to another, I do agree with Marco. I mean, like, I'm actually the type of person who can't handle rejection, but at the same time, I want to get it over with. You know how, like, you're in this little situation where you're confused if you're just making a big deal out of nothing, or if there's really something and you have to address it. So, like, I'm the type of person, yeah, if there's something that's bugging my brain and I just want to get it out for peace of mind, then I'll confront it. So, I am the type who, like the girl, would confess and then see what happens after. So, yes, there were confessions, few, and then there were a few rejections, but again, it's just a case of bad timing, I guess. So, yeah, I also agree with Marco when he said that you have to expect rejection. I mean, it could go both ways. It either ends up good, of course, nobody likes being rejected, diba? But it's just a phase. You know how when you get past that, there's a lot of opportunities for you, or there's more chances. I mean, he's not the only guy in the world. So if he's not meant for you, if he can't see you the way you see him, then maybe it's just not meant to be after all. So, what was the question? Oh yeah, how do you cope with rejection? I'm also the type of person who is a bit spiteful. No. So that kind of fuels your it kind of motivates you to move on. Like, of course, you get rejected, not a good thing, but the end of the day, it is what it is. So you just accept it. I mean, yeah, it's easy to say, no, accept it lang, period. But it's difficult. I mean, I went through that, so I can really understand. But it heals over time. You just have to give yourself time. And when you do heal, then that's where the self-growth begins. That's where you become more mature. That's where you learn to think rather than letting your emotions get the best of you. Okay, if you don't address whatever is going on between you, whatever is bugging your brain, you won't have peace of mind. Okay? It's always going to be in your mind. It's going to mess you. It's going to, I mean, I'm not bitter, but it's really going to mess your mind, and you're going to be unable to sleep, and then you proceed with making up these make-believe scenarios of what could be. It's all good things. You just choose to avoid looking at what could. No, I don't need tissues. I'm fine.
Someone provide her tissues.
I'm fine. But yeah, like, if you don't address it, my God, you're always living in this little bubble, in this fairy tale. It's going to be all good. And then you can't handle or look at the possibility. What if things don't end up in the good? What if you guys don't end up together? What if the feelings are not mutual? What if he's just being friendly and you're just making a big deal out of nothing? Okay, you don't have prior experience to that. But like, you made a big deal of something, it's new to you, so you don't know how to respond to it properly. So, yeah, the first rejection is always the hardest, but over time, you, with the help of friends, I guess, friends are always very important when you're coping with rejection. Night out, social gatherings, that's also fine. You know, you live the best of your life. That's all up to you on how you
Support
cope with
system.
rejection. Your support system is always going to be important to you when you're going through that stage. But once you're past that, then, you know, I wish the best of luck to you wherever you're going. But that's that stage is done now. So you move on to the next and see what else is there for you. Okay, there's always going to be something better prepared for you. That's it.
Sakto jud na. Very slay right there, Ate Jess. It is what it is, you know? And, you know, I kind of want to add something. Diba? Mixed signals. You're already confused, right? Mixed signals. You should always remember that mixed signals means no. Okay? They're playing with you. They're emotionally unavailable. Don't push it na lang. So it's better to just distance yourself as a form of maturity, as a form of growth, you know? And I like what Ate just said there. You know, it was such a live, laugh, love moment. He's not the only guy to like. He's not the only guy in the world, diba? So therefore, you should collect and select. Charot lang, guys. No, pero bitaw, collect and select. You don't have to like them right away. You can just, you know, get to know them. See if
Best to keep your
you
options.
vibe, you know? And then another, what, Marco? Can you say that again? Seto?
It's best to keep your options open.
Yes, bestie. It's best to keep your options open. But if you're loyal like that, if you're like a Cancer like me, you're loyal like that, you just want one person, okay, then go. You can slay it. Pero it's best to keep your options open. And, you know, you loved, you lost, and you can always learn to love again. It's a cycle. Love is a cycle like that, diba? So, grabe ha, guys. Uy, you really seemed like Cupid today. Like the good Cupid. Dili lang na aimlessly throwing arrows. Cupid, like, this is what you should do. This is the guy I want this girl to fall in love with. This is the guy that I want this guy to fall in love with, you know? So I'm really enlightened with your answers today. And I hope our listeners feel the same way too. Bisag diri na lang tika makakuha og mutual feelings, you know? I'm enlightened, they're enlightened. Bisag dira na lang. You know, let's give a quick recap. So, reading between the lines and giving meaning to non-existent scenarios. It depends on how you develop and communicate in a relationship. You look at the environment and you assess from there. So you basically take it slow. Just don't be like, oh my god, he held my hand today. Does that mean anything? Bestie, he just wanted to hold your hand, period. Take it slow, guys. Next, we have here, if the feelings aren't mutual, is it best to stop or end the connection? You cut it off if they don't reciprocate. You don't want to, you know your self-worth. You don't give all your energy to someone if they don't reciprocate it, right? And then we have here about distancing yourself. Distancing is a form of knowing your self-worth and self-healing. And shame is a part of it. But distancing is also taking a step forward. That's maturity right there. And of course, you expect rejection and you prepare for the growth. You prepare yourself for the aftermath of confession. It's all about maturity. That cough right there, I felt that. It's like growth, slay. And then I want to add a little something, mga besties. You know, a little song recommendations. Katong gipang mentioned today. So, to our dear listeners, if you know, you want to feel the love, if you want to feel the vibes, we'd like to recommend the song from Hercules, I Won't Say I'm in Love, and from our mother herself, Taylor Swift, Labyrinth. So yeah, very slay right there. And that wraps up our first episode. So stay tuned for the second story in the next episode of Cupid's Corner. Say bye, guys. See you, BB Besties.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye, baby.
Bye.